I believe I'll be reading the verses 1 to 8, and I think it's a passage that you've heard probably many times before. But listen carefully as Isaiah is speaking. It's a personal testimony, and it's about his call from God. And he was a priest, and yet God called him. You know, whether you're a preacher or retired, no matter what you're doing, you know, God calls. Keep the ears open. Isaiah says, in the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord seated on a throne, high and exalted, and the train of his robe filled the temple. Above him were seraphs, each with 6 wings. With 2 wings they covered their faces, with 2 they covered their feet, and with 2 they were flying. And they were calling to one another, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord Almighty. The whole earth is full of his glory. Woe to me, I cry, because I am ruined. For I am a man of unclean lips, and I live among a people of unclean lips. And my eyes have just seen the King, the Lord Almighty. And then one of the seraphs flew to me with a live coal in his hand, which he had taken with tongues from the altar. And with it he touched my mouth and said, See, this has touched your lips. Your guilt is now taken away, and your sin atoned for. And I said, Here am I. Who will go for us? And who will be sent for me? Here am I, Lord, he said. Here am I. Send me. It's good to be here. I just want you to know I thoroughly enjoy coming to Cohansey Baptist Church. When I first came, I wasn't sure I could pronounce the name right. But it's good to be here. You've been very special people. Glad my wife can be with us. And even when, you know, we were coming before periodically, it was at that time she took ill with cancer, and we prayed. And she is back on her feet. We're having a great time, and we're rediscovering each other all over again. You know, it's great to be married. Amen. To the one that was your friend. We're going to be married 50 years. Amen. That's our first marriage, too. That's our first marriage. Keep praying for her, though, because she puts up with a lot. But it's great to be here. So I want to thank you for the invitation. I'm glad that we can make it. As we continue in our worship, though, let's take a moment and let's pray. Lord, as we continue in our worship service, it's my prayer. It's my prayer that our hearts will be stilled, our minds might be open, our ears might be alert, that we might hear and that we might respond to your presence. May the words of my mouth, the meditations of my heart, may all the thoughts and feelings, Lord, that are running rampant within me, Father, may all these be acceptable in your sight. For I pray this in Christ's name. Amen. Amen. In Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6, Solomon wrote, Trust in the Lord. Trust in the Lord with all of your heart. Lean not into your own understanding. He didn't say you can't understand, but he said lean not only to your understanding, your own understanding, but in all your ways, in everything you do. Everything. Acknowledge him. Acknowledge him in everything, and he will direct your path. But how does he direct? How does he direct? How do you know which path to take? In other words, how do you really know what God's calling you to do, the decision to make, the direction to take? In fact, how do you even know if he's calling you to do anything at all? I remember when I was a kid in South Philadelphia, growing up, just before I became a teenager, I went up to a minister one time and just very simply asked, how do I know what God wants me to do when I get older or right now? And he looked at me and he said, Steve, if you're close to Jesus, really close to him, you know. And suddenly I began to feel guilty because I didn't know, which meant what? I wasn't close to Jesus. I was, but that's how his answer made me feel. I used to think when I was growing up that God only called certain people. Preachers, missionaries, evangelists. The rest of us were on sidelines like cheerleaders, cheering them on. While they, the professionals, are out there in the field making the big plays for the kingdom of God. But as I got older, I discovered that God's will, that God's call was a lot bigger than that. Far greater than anything that I could ever imagine. And so this morning, very simply, very quickly, I want to share with you, in the best way that I can, I want to share with you some of the assumptions, some of the characteristics of God's call that have made a profound impact on my own life. The first one is this. Number one, everyone is called by God. Not just the preacher, missionary, or the evangelist, but the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. If you're a Christian, if you claim to be a follower of Jesus Christ, I contend that He's got something in mind for you. It doesn't matter who you are, what you've done, what you haven't done, how secure or insecure you may be, how you feel about yourself, what your past has been like, what level of education you've had, how little or how much. I contend the fact is that He has something in mind for you. When I was pastoring in Southern California, my last 7 years was in Santa Monica, border between LA and the Pacific Ocean. It was a beach community. It was a great place to be. The church I had, Cohansey Baptist Church, was 10 blocks from the beach. We used to have our Easter sunrise services on Santa Monica Pier. That was a great place. We just had a great time. The Spirit of God was beginning to cook on all 4 burners in that church. And the people of the church, they were fortunate. They had more resources than any other church that I knew of. They had not only resources to meet all their needs, but to do almost anything they wanted to do. But there was a woman there in that church, a woman who had a big influence in my life. Her name was Fonda. She was in her late 60s, and she didn't meet that profile because she struggled. She struggled all of her life to make ends meet, to try to find odd jobs here and there, to get enough money to get food on the table and pay for the rent. And most of the time, she found herself cleaning the homes of other people. She was a house cleaner. She'd go into the homes of Santa Monica, to the Palisades, Northwest, or even to Malibu, and she'd go into the kitchens and go into the bedrooms and the bathrooms and into the living rooms, and she would clean them. She had a great reputation. I mean, if you had her clean your house, it was sparkling. She would go the extra mile. She would actually go into the bathrooms, get on her hands and knees, and scrub the tiles, scrub the tubs, scrub the toilets day after day. This one particular Sunday, after the service was over and after all the people had finally left, I saw her as she was about to leave, and I walked over to her. I was still in my early 30s, and she was in her late 60s. We had a great connection with each other. I really enjoyed her. And I went up to her, and we started talking. And at one point, I said, Fonda, I said, let me ask you a question. I said, you got a great reputation among the people in the city, how good you are going into their homes and cleaning them. You go into the living rooms and everything else, but you go that extra mile, and you also go into their bathrooms. And you get on your hands and knees, and you scrub the toilet until it's sparkling, spotless, clean. You do this day after day, week after week, month after month. I said to her, that would drive me up a wall. Doesn't that bother you? And she looked at me in amazement. And she said, oh no, Pastor Steve. Don't you realize I'm doing it for Jesus? I'm doing it for Jesus. And as long as He wants me to do it, I'm making my very best because I'm doing it for Him. And she was right. What she was saying is that nothing's too small. Nothing's too insignificant for Jesus Christ. And when you do it, you give your very best because you're doing it for Him. And let me just say parenthetically that what Fonda did day after day in those bathrooms was just as significant as what I did every Sunday morning behind the pulpit in Santa Monica. You see, nothing is of greater significance. God doesn't have certain levels of importance. Everything you do, whether you're working for the township collecting trash, or whether you're Billy Graham preaching to tens of thousands of people, in the sight of God, everything that takes place is on the same level of significance. The point? Everyone is called by God. And in God's sight, if you follow through, you're just as significant as anyone else. Everyone is called by God. No one's excluded, everyone's included. But then number two, if you're called, you're not called in the same way that he calls other people. I mean, how many of you, for example, have been confronted by a burning bush that refused to be consumed? The way Moses was. How many? How many of you have been thrown off a horseback after confronting Jesus Christ the way Paul was on the road to Damascus? The fact is, each and every one of you are unique, especially Judy. She's really unique. Each and every one of you are unique and special. And therefore, God's going to approach you in a way that's different than the way he approaches other people, because that's how special you are. So if you hear someone give a testimony how God has led them and dramatically changed their life and moved them, and things are exciting in terms of what they're doing, but you can't identify with it. It's just not your story. Don't feel bad. It's just how God operates. Everyone is called, but no one is called in the same way. But then number three, and this is the tough one. When God calls you, he doesn't give you all the details. He doesn't tell you everything. I mean, if he did, if he told you everything he wanted you to do and how you were to do it, nothing was left to your imagination, every piece of the puzzle was in place, you wouldn't need any faith. You wouldn't need any faith because it's all there for you. But I found that God will purposefully leave out some of the pieces of the puzzle to force you and to force me to exercise our faith. Because you see, faith is it's like a muscle. If you don't exercise your muscle, what happens? Flabby. Who said that? You know what you're talking about, don't you? It becomes weak, useless in medical terms. It's, what's the medical term, Fran? Atrophy, thank you. That's what happens when you get older. Synapses don't snap the way they used to. It's atrophy. It becomes weak and useless. It's not able to do what it's supposed to do. If you're sick in bed with the flu, you're in bed, you're so sick, you're so achy, you can't get out, you're there for a week, maybe 10 days. For some people, it might be 2 weeks. And you're flat on your back, and after 2 weeks, you wake up, and suddenly, when you wake up, you feel so great. You jump out of bed, you're going to fall flat in your face. Because the muscles in your calves and your thighs have atrophied. They become weak. They don't have the strength to hold you upright. You've got to exercise them. And so it is with faith. You have to. If you want to have a strong faith, you can't just talk about it, study about it. You have to exercise it. That's why the Apostle Paul said to the Christians in Corinth, "For we walk by faith and not by sight." If you wait until you see things fall into place before you make your move, you're going to be waiting for a long time. So after you sing all the right songs, say all the right prayers, listen to all the right sermons, you're not going to have any more information about God's call in your life than you did before you started that thing. You need to take that first step, and then the next step of faith, and the next step. And as you begin to take that walk, he begins to reveal some of those details to you. He wants you to have a strong faith. We need to walk by faith and not by sight. Everyone's called by God. And yet we're not called in the same way. Everyone has a unique call because that's how special you are. And thirdly, he doesn't give you all the details. Now, you can know all that. You can know better, understand it better than I do. But unfortunately, it doesn't mean a thing unless, number 4, Solomon says, you trust the Lord. You've got to trust the Lord with all of your heart. Now, this is not my first time, as I mentioned before, to come here to Cohansey Baptist Church. Been here a number of times. I've been very privileged when you've asked me, and I could come. And it's great to be here. My wife and I have thoroughly enjoyed how the Spirit of Christ just seems to be exuding from you as a family of believers. We thoroughly enjoy the welcome. But if this was my first time, if I had never been here before, and say 3 weeks ago I got the call from Al Davenport. Hi, Al. What are our deacons? Is that your girlfriend or is that your daughter? If I got a call from Al Davenport, I'm not picking on you, Al, mine. You ain't seen nothing yet. I got a call from Al Davenport 3 weeks ago, and he said, Rev Hutchinson, we've had an interim, Tim Green. And he's been with us for almost a year, but he's got a call to go to North Carolina to a church to be a pastor. His last Sunday is coming up on the 12th of February, and our first Sunday where we need to have someone fill the pulpit while we look for a new interim is going to be the 19th. Are you free? Your name was given to us by someone. We'd like to know if you can come in and be with us. I said, well, wait a minute, let me just double check. And I have to go, because like I told you before, I have to check the date book because my wife and I become very busy in retirement with our grandchildren. I mean, we're catching up with all the soccer games and all the school concerts and plays and everything else we get involved. We're catching up with each other. I'm letting her know that she really does have a husband. I'm spending more time with her. We're having a good time, and I speak at different places. And so I took a look at my day book, and I was free. So I come back and I said, Al, I can make it. Hey, I'm happy. He said, that's great. We talked some more, and then he gives me directions to get here. And then we hang up. 15 or 20 minutes later, Judy. Get a call from Judy. Okay? And she said, I just got a call from the church office. They're telling me you're going to be here, and I'm going to be the worship leader. And so I just wanted to introduce myself to Rev Hutchinson and just, try to let you know if there's anything we can do to make this a great experience for you. Just let us know. And if you need directions, I said, Judy, don't worry about the directions. I already got them from Al Davenport. And here's this what they call pregnant balls. And then she says, Al Davenport? I said, yeah, give me the directions. She said, I don't feel comfortable saying this, but I need to tell you, you can't trust him.
To my defense, I think you told me something. I'm Jody. You may have spoken to Judy. Judy told you.
Lord, he did it. Lord, he did it. Okay, Jody. You can't trust him. He's a pathological liar. You said amen? You interrupt me, I'll get back. He's a pathological liar. Now, that didn't happen. I don't want anyone to leave this place and say that from the pulpit you heard that Al, Davenport was a pathological liar. This is an illustration. Okay? It's only an illustration. But if that was the case, if I didn't know this is my first time here, let me tell you, there's no way. There's no way that I'm going to follow his directions. Because you see, I don't follow someone unless I first trust them. And the same thing is true of the Christian faith. There's no way you're going to follow Jesus Christ. There's no way you're going to follow his teachings and what he wants you to do unless you first trust him. And you can trust him. You can trust him with all your heart because you know, number one, he wants the best for you. I mean, he gave his very best. 2,000 years ago, he put his life on the line. What more can a person give than their own life, which is the very best they have? That's why our first responders, policemen, firemen, military people, that's why they're our heroes. That's why they're so important, because they give the very best they have. He put his life on the line. He died for you on Calvary's Hill. What more can a person give than the very best of their own life? He did that even if you wouldn't accept him. He put his life on the line. So you can trust the fact that he wants the best for you, but you can also trust that he not only wants the best for you, he's always going to be with you. Even if you blow it, even if you do take that leap of faith and leap in the wrong direction, he's not going to walk away in disgust. Jesus said, I'll never leave you, nor forsake you. He's going to be there at all times. David, the king, the ruler, the leader of Israel, he had discovered that. While he was king, he had a best friend by the name of Jonathan. He and Jonathan probably had a better, deeper, more authentic relationship than most natural brothers have today. But one day Jonathan was killed in the battle just like that, and suddenly David found himself alone, bitter, upset. He was blown away. The grief was so great, he had to leave his palace. He found himself going out into the pastures where he used to shepherd the sheep as a small boy. And as he walked around, feeling so bad, and grieving is normal. We go through that. That's part of our humanity because you miss the other person. You don't have to have a person die. If someone moves away, you grieve. It's normal. And he grieved deeply. And he stood there by a babbling brook, sat down. Suddenly, He became aware of a presence that was beginning to envelop him and overwhelm him. In that moment, he realized he wasn't alone. He had never been alone, but he suddenly realized in that moment that he wasn't alone. And it was in that moment that he began to think through these words that were eventually written down and become a source of strength and help to millions upon millions of people down through the ages. Words that begin, the Lord, He is my shepherd. Therefore I shall not want, even though I go through this valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Why? Because you, my Lord, are with me. Not because you're going to take me up on a helicopter and get me out of this. I'm going to get through it because you are with me. God never promised that He'll take away some of the tragedies and the hurts, whether it be health or relationships or whatever that we have, but He promised to be with us and never leave us. Jesus said, I'll never leave you, nor forsake you. He's the same today as He was yesterday, as He was 3,000 years ago in David's life. So you can trust the Lord. You can trust in the fact that He wants the best for you. You can trust in the fact that He's always going to be with you. And you can trust in the fact He's not just going to stand there and be with you. He's going to get involved. He's going to even reach down and bring good out of the worst situation that maybe you have ever experienced. That's why the Apostle Paul, who had been beaten and left for dead because of his following of Jesus Christ, that's why he could say in the midst of all of that, in the midst of that pain, he could write to the Christians in Romans, saying, Romans chapter 8, verse 28, that all things, not some things, not just the good stuff, but everything, he said, all things work together for good to those who love the Lord, who are called according to His purpose. The Hutchinson translation of that verse is that nothing is wasted with God. So you can trust the Lord with all of your heart because you know He wants the best for you. He's always going to be with you. And He's always going to be involved bringing good out of the worst situation, whether it takes 5 minutes, 5 days, 5 years, or 50 years. Nothing is wasted with the Lord. Nothing. Unfortunately though, trusting the Lord by itself, trusting Jesus, as important as that is as a first step, trusting Jesus by itself is not enough. It's not enough. Now, Al is not a pathological life. Okay? I don't want anyone, again, he's a great guy. He really is. He told me he was. His integrity is so solid you can take it to the bank. And I know that the directions that he would have given me would be the best directions around. I know that. Because of the trust I really have in him up to this point. Okay? They are the best directions. But even though I know that they are the best directions anyone could ever give to me to get from my house in Pennsylvania here in Bridgeton, New Jersey, I also have a free will. I have a free will. And in my free will, even though I know they are the best directions, instead of doing it His way, which is the best way, I can decide to go another way. In the words of Frank Sinatra, I can do it my way. My way. Beware politicians who do it their way. I can do it my way. You know. You see, it's one thing to trust. It's another thing to obey. Trust and obedience are not synonymous terms. One does not necessarily follow the other because of the free will. Jonah knew that. Jonah in the Old Testament. Okay? He was one who trusted the Lord God Yahweh with all of his heart. He worshipped every Sabbath. He knew the law inside and out. But when God came to him and said, Jonah, I want you to go to the city of Nineveh. Now, Nineveh was not Jewish. It had the Ninevites who hated the Jews, and the Jews hated them, lockerheads, with each other. I want you to go to the city of Nineveh, and I want you to preach to them about my wrath that's about to hit them because of their sin and disobedience. But what did Jonah do? He knew that if he did this, that probably some of them might repent of their wicked ways and God might spare them. And he didn't want that. He wanted justice. He wanted them to get their due. They were the enemy. And so Jonah, this one who trusted the Lord God with all his heart, this good follower of Yahweh, instead of obeying, he turned. He went the other way. And you know the rest of the story, as a commentator would say. Because it's tough. It's the toughest thing in the world to be obedient, even as a good Christian. Jesus knew that. He just didn't preach it. He went through it himself. These weren't just, idealized type of words that he was saying in the classroom. He went through it himself. After he had his last meal with his disciples, they left the upper room. They went to the Garden of Gethsemane. When he crossed into the garden, he knew. He knew what was around the corner. He knew the crucifixion was about to take place, and the stress had to be out of this world. At one point, he turned to the three disciples closest to him, Peter, James, and John. And he said to them, sit over here, watch and wait. I need some space. I need some time. I need to pray. Now, if he needs to pray, how much more do we need? I need to pray. And he walked off until he was alone and began to pray. And at one point, he dropped to his knees, and Scripture said he cried out, Father, God, please let this cup pass from me. Jesus did not want to die. He wasn't a masochist. He didn't want those nails ripping his flesh apart. He didn't want that pain just pulsating through his body. He wanted some other way to save the world. He's willing to save it, but not that way. But he didn't stop there. He went on to say, nevertheless, probably the most important transitional phrase in all of Scripture. After he was honest to God, and if you want your prayers to be powerful, you've got to begin with honesty. As you pray for people maybe that you don't like or bad situations and you think it's so unjust or whatever, you've got to pray to God exactly how you feel in all honesty. It may not sound too Christian in those prayers. He wants you to be honest in that relationship. But you don't stop there. And after Jesus prayed honestly, he went on to say, Nevertheless, not my will. It wasn't his will to die on the cross. But he said, not my will, your will be done. And then he got off his knees and he did the thing that love demanded. He went beyond his feelings. You see, love and feelings are not synonymous. Oh, I feel so in love. Valentine's Day, what a great thing. But love is not feelings. Now, feelings are a part of it. That's great, but love is far more than feelings. He did the thing that love demanded. He was obedient, said Scripture. Obedient even unto death. And because of his obedience, you and I are here today. If he had not been obedient, you see, he could have avoided arrest. He was smart enough to do that. He allowed himself to be captured. He allowed himself to be crucified. And if that would have taken place, this church would have never been built. We would not be here today, and you would not be celebrating Easter in a month and a half at all. But because he was obedient, if he had not been, there would have been a subsequent or a crucifixion and a resurrection. It wasn't through his trust, and he trusted. But it wasn't through his trust, it wasn't through his theology, it wasn't through his miracles, it wasn't through the fact that he could feed people, it wasn't through the fact that he had charisma and could attract tens of thousands of people. It was his obedience that made all the difference in the world. And that's why we're here this morning, because of the obedience of Jesus Christ. But that's not easy. That's not easy. That's tough. What are the 5 characteristics of God's call? Number 1, everyone. Everyone's called by God. Number 2, when God calls you, he doesn't call you in the same way that he calls other people. Number 3, he doesn't give you all the details. 4 and 5. It doesn't mean a thing unless you trust and obey. Trust and obey, says the hymn. For there's no other way to be what? To be happy in Jesus, but to trust and obey. But that's hard. Believe me, I know, it's tough. It's the toughest thing in the world, because it means you have to go against your feelings. I mean, who in their right mind, for example, feels like loving your enemy? Jody. If someone slaps you in the face, your instinctive response may be to slap them back or walk away in disgust. I mean, but what does Jesus say? He says, love your enemies. Maybe I can do that. But then he says, no, you got to then put flesh and blood on it. And he goes on to say, love your enemies by doing good to those who despitefully use you. He doesn't say do good to those after they ask for forgiveness. He doesn't say do good to those after they stop doing it to you. He says, and if you read it in the original Greek, in which was written in the New Testament, it's an ongoing active verb. It's not past tense. He says, do good to those while they're still doing it to you. You say, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. There's no way. And you're right. It doesn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense for the people in Charleston, South Carolina, when that young kid went in. The white supremacist went in there with his gun. During prayer meeting, he sat with them 45 minutes as they had their Bible study. They're sharing, they accepted, brought him in. Then he took out his gun and shot and killed 9 of them, including the senior pastor. And then when he was captured, shortly thereafter, within 24 hours after his capture, and this is on nationwide television, it showed him on closed-circuit TV as they brought him into a room, and the families in another room on the screen where he could see them and they could see him. They could say whatever they wanted, and they shared. And we could hear it. Man, you ripped my life apart, my family apart. I'll never be able to walk down the aisle with her. I'll never. And they shared how devastating they were. But before each one of them ended, they said, I forgive you. I forgive you. And the nation was shocked. The nation was stunned. Who in their right mind would say that in the midst, especially shortly thereafter, that whole event took place? And it caught the attention of people. Most Christians don't catch the attention of non-Christians because they're no different than the non-Christian. No different at all. If you want to make a difference, you've got to begin to follow the teachings of Jesus Christ. You've got to begin to be obedient. If you do that, that's what turned the world upside down. It was his obedience that did that. You've got to do what I call the unexpected by practicing the presence of Jesus. Practicing the presence, that's the unexpected. No one expected people. And suddenly the whole nation was stunned. If you want to make a difference in this area of Salem County, find ways as a family as well as individuals. You got to first, if you want to begin somewhere, just read Matthew 4, 5, and 6, Sermon on the Mount. That tells you to do some things that don't make any sense either. But that's part of his teachings, to do that. But it's the toughest thing in the world to go ahead, because it means that you have to go beyond your feelings. You have to let go of your securities, those things that you're holding on to. Whether it be a person in your life that you love so deeply, you care for. God is saying, let go of the person. Let go of those things that mean so much, like your popularity, like your health, like money, whatever it might be. Let go. It doesn't mean that God's going to take these things away from you. He just wants you to put first things first. Let go and let God take over. Let him have first place in your heart. And see the difference that'll make. But that's the toughest thing in the world, to let go. One of my favorite stories is about this guy in Northern California. And he got a brand new sports car. It was red, shiny, had all the bells and whistles. It was great. And he wanted to go and test it out, especially he loved the mountains. He wanted to go to the high Sierras and just see how it would handle the mountainous terrain. So he got up there, and as he started going down, he would take the curves, and we see how fast he could go, and he was doing pretty well. But at one point, he failed to negotiate a curve properly, and suddenly the car spun out of control. It flipped over, and he got thrown out, and the car went down, plummeting over 1,000 feet, and he started falling down. But he was able to grab a twig, a about 10 feet from the edge, and he's hanging there for dear life. And suddenly he's beginning to feel beads of dirt falling into his head, and his weight was beginning to pull that little twig out by its roots, and the sweat was pouring off his face. And in horror and panic, he cries out, God, God, help me! And suddenly he hears this booming voice from above saying, yes, what can I do for you? God, get me out of this mess. I'll do anything you want. You name it, I'll do it. Just get me back on that edge. And then he heard this voice say, let go! And he looked up, and he looked back down, and then he yelled, is anybody else up there? Every Sunday morning, we come through the front doors of the church, and we all say in our own way, I'll go where you want me to go. I'll be what you want me to be. I'll say what you want me to say. I'll do what you want me to do. Hey, wherever you lead me, Lord, wherever you lead me, I'll follow. And then God has the audacity to call a bluff. And we say, whoa, wait a minute, that's not what I had in mind. And he says, and I'm translating now, a little editorial license, but he's saying that's tough. This is what I want you to do. Do you trust the Lord? That's the first question. Do you trust the Lord? You're not going to get anywhere until that trust is there. If you trust the Lord, then question number 2, do you obey? Do you obey? Doing the unexpected. Practicing the presence of Jesus. Do you obey his teachings, what he wants you to do? Don't tell me you don't know what to do. It's right there in Scripture if you don't know some of the things you know. Some things he's already taught us. Do you obey? How far? How far are you willing to go? Dwight L. Moody, a long time ago, once said, the world has yet to see what God can do through a person who is totally committed, completely obedient to him. How far? How far are you willing to go? The bottom line is that God loves you through it all. Through it all. God loves you. He wants the best for you. And he wants your life, whether you're a child, like Samuel was in the Old Testament, who heard the call of God at night, or like Moses, who was 80 years of age. There's no excuse. Even if you're as young as Joey, or as old as Al. No excuse. He wants you in this moment to experience the greatest adventure you could ever have. He does. Because that's how special you are. How far? How far are you willing to go? In a moment, we're going to stand to sing hymn number 327, Trust and Obey. We'll be singing all the verses. And just very simply, maybe you've been coming to church for a long time. Maybe this is your first time. But you've never personally made that decision to trust in Jesus. You see, you can be religious. My father told me when I was just a kid, he said, when I married your mom, I wasn't a Christian. I wish you would have known my father. He was a great guy. I became a Christian because of him. But he said to me when I was about 6 or 7, I wasn't a Christian, but she was. And I would go to some, I won't name the denomination, but I would go to a certain church and everything. I was a good religious person. I did all the right stuff. But I saw how your mom lived her life. She lived it. I wanted the same thing she had. And he said at a certain point, I made a decision to follow Jesus. And it turned my world upside down. You can go to church all your life and not really know the Lord. You know about him, but not really know him relationally. So this morning, if you've never consciously and personally made a decision to follow Jesus, I invite you right here now, regardless of who's around you. Don't worry about what they're thinking. I just invite you to make that decision deep into your heart. It'll be one that will change your life and you'll never regret it. And if you make that decision, I invite you as we sing, just step out and come forward, not to make me speechless, but just to stand with me. just to say, by coming forward, I've decided to follow Jesus. And I find that when people go public with their private decisions, the roots of those decisions, by going public, go a lot deeper in their lives. Now, maybe you've done that. Maybe it was a short time ago you gave your life to Christ. Maybe it was a long time ago. But maybe there are areas where you need to kind of clean up. Maybe there's some areas where you need to begin to be obedient and do it His way and not your way. Maybe for more of the Spirit of God is calling you to rededicate yourself and go all the way. To rededicate yourself and put first things first. Put Jesus first in your life. It doesn't mean you're going to be perfect any more than I am. But to put first things first and to just focus on Him from this point on. So if the Lord's calling you to give your life for the first time to Christ, or for rededication, or even maybe it's just become a part of this church. You can't be a Christian in isolation and expect to grow. You can be a Christian in isolation. But unless you're really a part, and you it's like getting married. I mean, you can live together, but until you really go public, okay, and have that ceremony, okay, there's something that's added to it. You need a place you can call it your home and grow, and together we grow. So if God's calling you for the first time commitment or recommitment, or even very simply to maybe join this church family, I invite you as we stand to sing all the verses of hymn number 327, Trust and Obey. To stand, and God is leading,